it's also the influencer's responsibility when they are choosing to work with certain brands. It should resonate with them.
Absolutely.
Like in my example, I do food content creation, right? But I do not consume alcohol myself. So if there's a brand that wants me to endorse alcohol, I'm not going to tell a fake story that, okay, I went so and so here and this thing helped me or something. I will not do that. Same with meat. I do not consume meat, right? So if any brand tells me to promote, to do a recipe video using meat or something, my followers already know that I do not consume meat.
Yeah, that's
right?
going to just be very unorganic.
Yeah, so in that case, fake stories also don't work, and I think we should not do it also. We should always work with brands that resonate with us, and then deliver content which actually fits in with our regular lifestyle.
True.
And some product that we believe in ourselves also.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Kofluence Unplugged. I am your host, Pranavi. Today we're delving into the fascinating topic of the psychology behind influence. Whether it's a brand, creator, or a celebrity, there's a complex psychological foundation that drives people to follow a few and not the others. Today, we are joined by an eminent food content creator, Vaishali Yegi, with whom we are going to explore these mechanisms that drive people to follow. Hi, Vaishali, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Great. So, jumping into the topic at hand, what do you think being influential means, particularly in the context of social media?
Okay, so if uh, you are able to drive change in someone's day to day life, right? I mean, something that they normally do, and your presence on social media is driving them to do something different, something that they not don't usually do. That means you are influential
Okay.
because they are stepping out of their comfort zones and their regular lives and doing something after looking at you. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that means you're
Something out
influential.
of the box, something positive, something anything that's driving a
Yeah.
change in someone's life.
Yes.
Yeah. So now delving into the psychology behind influence, um, what do you think? Why do people follow? Like, what is the psychology behind it? What makes people follow someone on social media?
Right. So, yeah, social media has so many people, right? And it is up to us whom we choose to follow.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think there are a few things that make people follow someone. One is, of course, common interest.
Yes.
Like, let's say if I am interested in a particular thing, like for me, it's cooking, right? So, my followers are those who are interested in cooking or in food or in general. So, it's about that common passion because everyone wants that sense of belongingness,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. So, talking from a psychological standpoint, what do you think is the reason why people follow others? What sort of needs and desires are being fulfilled that people are following someone that they look up to or they relate to on social media?
Right. So, yeah, social media has a lot of people who are there on social media, but it is up to us whom we choose to follow. So, I think, yeah, there are a few factors which uh, play an important role as to whom we choose to follow. One of them is, of course, mutual passion. Because, of course, on my feed, I want to see something that interests me,
Absolutely.
right? If let's say
Something I
in
can
my
relate
case,
to.
yeah, in my case, it's cooking. So people who like to cook, who look for new ideas, they choose to follow me because again, for them it's a new change from their regular routine, and what new can they cook? So they get
Yes.
more ideas, and then that mutual passion because they can relate to it. Okay, yeah, she's also passionate about cooking, so I can get ideas from her. Another thing is, of course, entertainment because no one likes boring content. So we want to watch something that's fun, something that's different. and also something that's very relatable to us, something that's authentic, because we want to follow someone who is more like us. Right? That is what differentiates influencers from celebrities.
Authenticity is the cornerstone of, I think,
Yes.
influencing on social media, right?
Yeah.
Without authenticity, it gets quite a bit. It gets very difficult for people to relate to
Yes.
the people on social media. If there's nothing that you relate with,
Yeah.
what do you connect over?
Right. So if someone shares their successes and failures both,
Both.
so then that people like following such people, that okay, this is a real person behind this page. So that is another factor that drives people to follow someone.
Yes, and there's something very interesting that I read about this, since you brought up the topic of relatability.
Right.
According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the two most important thing that drives people to follow is the social and esteem needs of people that are being fulfilled. So when people see someone in an influential position that they align with or relate
Right.
with, they feel a sense of validation.
Yes.
They feel a sense of belonging as well.
Yes.
Which gives them some sort of a fulfillment. So that again helps people a lot.
Yes, true.
It's something that people look up to, look forward to as well. Great. So my next thing that I want to discuss with you is what is the emotional factor here when somebody is following someone? Is it completely just a logical choice, or do you think emotions are involved as well when somebody is choosing to follow someone?
I think emotions play an important role because, see, when you are scrolling through social media, right? At that point of time, if you are able to relate to a certain emotion that the other person is trying to portray through his or her content, then you are more likely to engage.
Absolutely.
Right? And when the moment you engage, like the moment you like or comment on a particular piece of content, the algorithm is designed in such a way that it will show you more of that content.
Absolutely.
So then what happens is you are seeing a similar pattern that, on your feed. And then if you see it from a particular creator repeatedly, right, then you relate to that person, and then you also choose to follow them. So that is how it happens. Yeah, logic also plays a certain role, but I think emotions take the upper hand here because we are all emotional humans after all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is what makes us human.
And I think people are very sensitive about this emotion as well, because we've seen so many scandals on social media, and especially we've had these we've had people apologizing on
Right,
social media,
right.
So there's a lot of backlash that people get when the apology doesn't seem genuine.
Yes.
So people are quite sensitive also on social media. But there's also, it's a two-way dagger in the sense that, sometimes people are quite insensitive as well. How do you
Yes.
deal with that? I mean, there's trolling, there's so much of, there's this herd mentality where people will just follow everyone, and the negative comments just keep pouring in. So, like, have you faced anything like that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, being on social media, it is a very big part of it. And see, how I look at it is people who are putting out these negative comments, right? It has not much to do with you. It
Yeah.
has more to do with that person.
Them. It's
right?
them projecting their own
Insecurities or whatever it is.
Absolutely,
Yeah. So I think we have to develop a thick skin for that. And so initially I used to ignore a lot. But again, we are also human beings,
Yes,
right? And it does affect us at some certain points of time. So nowadays I reply also to the hate comments.
Yeah.
And I do it in a very fun way. So that, like if someone is being too negative about something, right? I don't give an explanation to them because
you don't owe them.
Yeah, I don't owe them
You don't owe them an
explanation.
explanation, no.
And such people,
You're not
they
forcing
will-
anyone to follow you. It's their choice
Yes.
to interact with your content.
Yeah, and they can choose to ignore it, but they are choosing to engage it. Another
Engage.
thing is I'm getting engagement through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation.
Yes.
So I think to wrap it up, emotion plays a good role in people following, right? So according to a study according to actually the Harvard Business Review in 2020, it was seen that emotionally charged content they gain 2 times more engagement than any sort of a just an informative content, right? So these emotions like excitement,
Yes.
empathy, even anger, they really stimulate people to go all out on social media, right? So my next thing that I want to explore with you is, it's very evident that there are certain psychological triggers or these small little tactics that people use, to hook on their followers, to hook on their uh, engagement. So what do you think are these tactics that people, brands, celebrities, and content creators mostly use to um basically hook people on?
Okay, so one is, I think, social proof. When you are scrolling through your social media, right, and when you see that a certain product has actually given some change in a person. Let's say if a person had a certain skin condition, and then they used a certain product, and then they actually showing proof that this is the before and after, right? So then people are more likely to engage in that content, and also click that ad and go to their page and see, okay, this is what the product is about, and this is the transformation it happens. So this is one trigger that brands use. Another thing is, of course, FOMO, because social media is all about people showing a part of their lives, right? So everyone wants a sense of belongingness.
Absolutely.
Okay, I am also a part of this. So this is what brands also use. They try to use this tactic that everyone is using this, and if you don't use it, you are missing out on
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
or
yeah.
this is limited period offer or something. And another thing is, in which way influencers also come into the picture is that they give a limited period offers or discounts to their followers. So this is another trigger,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I have built a certain audience. Then brands who collaborate with me, right? They give me a certain discount code or something, which my followers can use.
Use.
So then the
It's like an
followers also,
it's like an incentive without any sort of, an investment.
yeah,
All they're investing is in your content and
right.
them following you. It's such a great incentive for them. Why not? Why won't people opt for it, right?
Yes. So
Absolutely.
followers also leverage this, because they feel, okay, if I have to go somewhere else and purchase the product, it's better that I go through this link,
Absolutely.
and I can also get a certain discount.
Discount.
Yeah. Another thing is also, I think, emotional triggers, because as I said, we are all humans, right? So brands also try to put in emotions in the way they do marketing.
Absolutely.
So that also helps the audience connect more with their product, and same with influencers.
Great. I think what you said is very in line with Cialdini's report on influence. They
Okay.
say that scarcity, social proof, and authority. These are the three triggers mainly utilized as tactics to hold on to followers, have a good authority over them.
Yes.
First, like you said, scarcity. People will look for things that they not have in an aspirational manner. They follow lifestyle influencers and fashion influencers, and they get inspired, and they like that constant feed that they get, that
Yes.
this is something innovative, and this is something that I can implement in my own life, and this I don't have, and this is a great source of inspiration for them.
Yeah.
Social proof, again, we see that people with a good amount of followers, they get a good traction of an inflow of followers as well, because people
Yes.
trust.
Yes,
They're like,
because they
yes,
see that already a community has been built.
yes,
So then they
absolutely.
feel that, okay, I'll also become a part of this community.
Yes, exactly. Amazing. So let's move on to our next topic. So the next thing that I want us to discuss is how important do you think consistency is in maintaining and nurturing that bond that you have so so hard work, like the amount of hard work that you've put in to build this bond with your followers. How does consistency come in to maintain it?
So consistency does play a very important role, because it builds a sense of trust and loyalty with your audience. because again, your followers have decided to follow you based on the content that you have delivered so far.
Absolutely.
Right? And they have that sense of trust in you that okay, further going also you will be delivering
There's
a certain
some sort of
level
an expectation as
yes,
well,
right.
right? There
So
is.
it is our responsibility to fulfill that need and be consistent with that because as I said, social media is full of so many influencers, right? And the algorithm is designed in such a way that it is going to show you only certain pieces of content, right? So if you're not consistent, people will not engage with your content, right?
Absolutely.
And if they don't engage, then Instagram will not, or any platform as such,
just not
will not
promote it,
show your
will not
content,
show you.
right?
Exactly.
So you
it will
lose
not
out
pop
on
up
that.
on people's feed.
Yes. So you lose out on that and also the bond that you fall, right? It sort of weakens because people forget. They follow new people and then they forget that, okay, I was following this person.
Yes,
So if you're not consistent, that bond does get affected.
Yes. HubSpot did a study where they saw that, people influencers who post consistently, say 3 to 5 times a week,
Yes.
they have 67% more engagement than the ones who
Right.
don't. Now, my next question to you is not exactly a question, but something that I've noticed, some so-called influencers who've hit it big, there comes a time when they just abandon their social media and they move into pursuits like an acting career or an entrepreneurial career, right? And they very much ignore their social media
Right.
handles. We've seen very famous comedy influencers who've done this, YouTube influencers,
Yes,
Instagram influencers who've consistently done this. So, what is your take on that? Is it quite is it acceptable, or is there something that they can do to manage it? Because me being a viewer, when I'm a huge fan of this certain content of someone for years, and I'm used to seeing a video at the end of Friday every week, or whatever his or her schedule is, and that just stops. It becomes erratic. Every 2-3 months, one video maybe, or it's just gone. And then we see that they are acting in some TV series or in some any project, in a film. So yes, we're happy for them. Good job. I mean, great for you. But my source of comfort with them is somewhat hampered, right? I share
Yeah.
something that I personally, look up to them for. Yeah, what is your take on that?
Yeah, see, that's the thing with influencers, right? When you start following them, you become very close with them. You start seeing their day to day schedule and
Yes,
everything.
yes,
And it's not just the content that you're relating to, but also the person who is handling that piece of content. So when that person chooses to do something else in your in their life, it definitely affects the followers because they followed you because you were delivering a certain piece of content.
Absolutely.
And they had certain expectations with you. But then I think it's natural for any human being
Yeah,
to
a transition is always a natural thing.
yeah,
right?
right. So it happens, and I think we as followers have to also be okay with it and choose other people who are
Yeah.
currently because it's a big market, right? There are so many people. So instead of definitely it does take a hit because you have been very loyal to them. So there's a personal bond that you have formed with such a person, and you trust their recommendations and stuff. And when they're doing it, doing something totally out of that context, you do feel that sense of abandonment that okay.
Yeah. But again, if you're loyal to them, it comes as a positive surprise, a welcome surprise to you.
So I think it's also the influencer's responsibility to not lose that touch with their followers and keep interacting with them, keep engaging with them. Yeah, maybe the frequency can go a little less.
Yeah.
But
if
they
the
have
quantity
to,
goes down, maybe bring up the quality, right?
yeah, bring up the quality and keep trying something new, something that is related with your current life as well, so that people don't feel that okay, she's just doing it for the sake of it, just because she wants to keep her channel growing and all. Something that you have to be very creative with that and yeah.
Yeah. So, talking about this relationship that we share with influencers, what do you think this very parasocial relationship what is the dynamics of this parasocial relationship between an influencer and their followers? Like, after all, I feel if you put yourself in the followers' shoe, it feels somewhat of a one-sided relationship, right? So how do you think? So according to the parasocial interaction theory, which is very positive, says that followers most of the times regard influencers to be their friends.
Yes.
They think of them to be a part of their lives because they are seeing everything that the person has to offer, right? So they form these really close bonds, and they're quite it's a quite wholesome, actually, when people think of someone that they look up to on social media as a friend, because they relate to. And business wise, this also takes up the buying intent of people.
Yes.
This takes up loyalty. So it's even if it is a parasocial relationship, even if it is a one-sided relationship, it's positive, I feel. Very positive. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, definitely. Because as I said, when you follow a certain influencer, right, you form a bond with them, right? And everything that they do influences you in a in certain way, right? How they are managing their lives, how they are dressing up, how they are looking, how they like their workout schedule, what they're eating,
What
where
they're
are they
buying.
where are they traveling? Everything affects you in certain way, right? When you go to a certain place, it always at the back of your head you always remember, okay, certain influencer I follow, she had come here, and it affects your day-to-day activities, actually.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, your buying choices, as you mentioned, or your travel choices, right, or the way you look, everything gets influenced by the influencers you follow. But I think there's also a negative side of it, because when that bond is formed, right, the followers expect the influencer to show everything.
Yes, that can be intrusive.
Yes,
That
so
can be very
if
intrusive.
so that can be something that's very personal also, like their personal relationships, or stuff like that. So the followers expect them to share that too.
Yes.
And
yes.
later on, if something else is revealed, right, and they were not told, so they feel that they have been betrayed,
Yes.
right? Because as you said, they see influencers as their friends, people they know. Okay, I know this person. But I think we also have to be cognitive of the fact that the life that any influencer is showing is not the entire
life.
thing.
And why would they also show the
Right.
entire life? They have the control of their own lives.
Yes.
Not everything is for people to see.
Yes.
They have some amount of judgment into what they want to show and what not. And we've seen quite a few of influencers actually facing backlash because of their personal issues.
Right.
Yeah, and regardless of whether the influencer is at fault, not at fault, people jump into conclusions.
Yes.
People will create content about it online. People will make a huge deal about it, right? And that is, I think, where people tend to blur the line.
Yes.
That is quite... It can be avoided, I feel.
Yeah, right. Because at the end of the day, we have to realize that there's also a human being, right?
Yeah, there's a very human aspect to these
Yes.
people. It's not just what is on their feed. They have a proper personal life. Right?
And at the end of the day, it is their lives, and they can choose to do whatever they want to do. Yes, they are definitely putting out a big part of themselves on social media, but that is not it, right? So we also need to, as followers or as influencers in general, we also have to be very much aware of this fact that this is just a part of our lives and not our entire lives.
Absolutely.
So even if we are getting hate, we should try to protect ourselves and not let it hamper our personal lives, and not let anyone decide for us what we should be doing or not. And same as followers, we should not we should give that space to the creators also, to have their own space and reveal whatever they want to. And
because at the end of the day, it's a profession, right?
Yes,
it's
right.
a profession.
But people tend to forget that.
People
many
do
times.
tend to forget that.
They feel
yes.
that creators owe them an explanation for everything.
Everything, which they definitely
They don't. Right,
they
of
don't.
course.
Right. So our next, since we spoke about interactions, etc. Again, talking from a follower point of view, what role do you think social comparison plays in this psychology behind influence? Like, do people at times follow someone just to see that, what is missing from their life? Or is it more aspirational where they want to be like that person? Or how do you tackle social comparison when it comes to social media? Like, it's I think it's quite one of the driving forces why people follow.
Yeah, right. So the entire social media is as a platform is designed in such a way to make you feel as if you're lacking something,
Yes.
right? Or there is a scope of improvement in you.
Because you're constantly bombarded with something or the other new, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is, if 10 people are doing something new and you're bombarded with at least 5 of them,
Yes.
you're still consuming content where you seeing things that you don't have.
Right.
However well off or whichever state you're in, even in the smallest things, there are things that you don't have, that you're seeing online.
Yes. So, for example, be it let's talk about fashion, right?
Yes. I think this is the most intense genre where lifestyle and fashion, where this social comparison comes in.
Right. So you're constantly bombarded with so many haul videos, right? And then, so you may be having a lot of a set of clothes, a huge collection of clothes. But when you're bombarded with something that, okay, this person has bought so many clothes, and then there is this sale happening or something, right? You tend to compare, okay, this person has such a wardrobe and she has so many different outfits, so I also want to buy it. You tend to forget that you already have so many clothes.
Yes, exactly.
And you feel that, okay, no, I also need it. So yeah, that is when the social comparison comes in. And also how a person looks and carries themselves. It can be in a good way also, because you can aspire to be to have a certain physique, to have a certain dressing sense,
Absolutely.
to have certain makeup skills. So that is how you can improve yourself also. So you can take social media in that way also.
Absolutely.
There are certain things that are lacking in me. Here's a scope of improvement, and this influencer will help me, learn these skills, or she has a good fashion sense, so I can get ideas from her. So you can use it in that way also.
That works great, but I have two things that I have noticed personally on social media to talk about. We see these skincare expert influencers where they will have these racks after racks of sunscreens, serums, niacinamide, this, that. They will have these entire drawers full of sheet masks.
Yes.
We know that skincare does tend to does expire in a certain amount of time. And if you're storing like these absolutely mammoth amounts of skincare, don't you think it's somewhere a little wasteful?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you see this entire industry, right, it influences you to do something which might not be needed.
Exactly.
Right.
And I mean, the best thing to do would be just visit a dermat.
Right.
Visit a dermat, right?
So that is when you tend to use less of your logic and more of your emotions.
Exactly.
Okay, oh no, I mean, and we don't know the entire truth also, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If it's actually the product that has worked, or was that person already blessed with such a skin?
We don't
right?
know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
And you see them using so many different products.
Oh my God,
right?
there are like 32-step nighttime routine.
Right, and that is, if you see, that's practically not possible.
That's not possible. That's not, if you have a day ahead of you in the morning.
Yes.
When are you going to sleep if you're going to apply 32 products?
And that is where you will, I mean, if normally a friend would come and tell you, right?
Yeah.
You would ask them a lot of questions.
Lots.
Okay, show me the proof.
How feasible is it?
Yeah, right.
And also, I think when people advocate, that, if you have certain problem, use this.
Right.
Use this. I mean, how authentic is it?
I think
how
we
much
have
can
to take it with a pinch of salt
Yeah. Because
and
we
do our
have
own
seen things go
research.
wrong. We have seen
Yes.
things go horribly wrong.
Yeah, right.
So, even though it's very addictive, I myself love watching these, skincare videos. It's so addictive and it's so wholesome to watch,
Yeah.
them with their glass skin. It's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
But, I sometimes wonder that do I really have to put on sunscreen every 1.5 hour, that too like 3 fingers long? I would like to actually go to a dermat and get that fact checked.
Yeah, I think things like skincare or fitness, that requires more of your personal research also
Personally,
to
as
go.
supervision, like professional supervision.
Yeah, right. And also, you have to be logical also, right? Not be always emotional about it, that okay, just because certain person is asking me to do it, I need it. You have to take a step back and see, firstly be grateful for
Yes.
all that you have. I think
Absolutely.
that is one part which goes missing.
Yes.
You
yes.
just see what is lacking. Okay, I need to improve here. This is lacking in my life. But you tend to forget what you already have. That sense of gratefulness has to come and focus on the positives that are there with you
that
also.
you already have, like at least
Right.
acknowledge them.
Yes,
acknowledge
acknowledge
that
them.
you-
But people tend to forget that. And then they see that, okay, this person is looking is a certain way, or this person has so many clothes. I don't have
need it
that.
too, exactly.
So we should not, we should draw a certain boundary and
we
see,
should
focus
tone
on
down our,
ourselves also.
we should like tone up our sensitivity somewhat when we are.
Yes.
They're entertaining.
Yeah,
Hands
right.
down, they're
watch
entertaining.
Watch it for entertainment. Take a few tips from them, learn and see how you can improve your current lifestyle. But don't go completely with the flow, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
just forget your own identity.
Absolutely. That's why, I really like the genre of sustainable fashion
Yes,
influencers.
yes.
They're great. They show how to wear the same outfit 4 different ways.
Yeah, you can style it in different ways. Even
ways.
I personally
love
prefer
that.
such
I love
videos.
that. So another thing that bothers me a little about the current situation in social media when it comes to this influence that people have is, have you seen this sudden eruption of the trad wife a concept where women are propagating that you have a degree in college, you have everything, but I am at home, I am hatching eggs, I am making bubble gum from scratch, I am making toothpaste from scratch for my husband who just came in. So yes, great for you. I mean, we're all feminists here. We love whatever. If you do you, right?
Yeah, right.
If that is what you want to do, great. But there have been cases where these influencers have been a little pushy about their entire traditional wife portrayal. There's this very famous one that we all know of right now. She's the wife of this very famous model, and she makes bubblegum, toothpaste, sunscreen from scratch.
Okay.
And she got a lot of flack for making that sunscreen from scratch because that sunscreen is never going to work.
Yeah.
You can't make sunscreen by mixing in a bowl with a spoon. The ingredients don't get emulsified. There's no point to it, right? So what is your take on this entire trad wife concept that is taking over social media completely?
I feel it's good that people have so much time, firstly, that they can do so much. But again, see, for them, it is also a piece of content that they're delivering, right?
It's a very niche genre.
Yeah.
It's a very niche genre.
So us as consumers can watch it for entertainment. Okay.
As you said very correctly. That,
Yeah.
Watch it for entertainment
Watch
purposes.
it for entertainment and let it be. Don't and never compare yourselves, because of course, see, practically it's not possible. We all have jobs.
We all have jobs.
We don't
and in
have
this
so
economy,
much.
I think, double income in a household is always welcome. And if that is not required and you want to follow your passion, great. But everybody should just be in their own lane, right? Don't propagate that, women shouldn't work. Women should stay at home. That's a little primitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for you.
Good for you. Good happy for you.
Yeah.
Very happy for you. You do you. But don't push it on social media.
Right.
So what role do you think storytelling plays in the psychology of influence? Like good compelling narratives Or how do they influence people? What effect does it have between the bond between people and followers and their influencers?
So, storytelling definitely plays a very important role when it comes to social media marketing in general. And that is something that I have also been recently experimenting with in my content, and I've seen the engagement go up. Because, see, at the end of the day, when you are trying to, and this especially helps when you're trying to push a certain product, right? When you try to fit it in a story, that is when it looks more natural, rather than just
There's a
putting it
context
out.
as well,
Yes,
right?
rather than because people are smart. They know, they
They know.
understand that, okay, the person is trying to sell me something, or is that person actually using it?
Yeah,
So, the
like,
way you put out that piece of content, the more natural it seems,
Yes.
the more free flowing it seems, the more people relate to it. And it should not look like an ad.
it shouldn't look like an outright, like I'm selling this, buy it.
Right.
No,
And I've
that's-
seen a lot of brands using this to leverage.
Absolutely.
So that because this engages people more. And this is something that differentiates social media marketing than traditional ads. See, when you watch ads on television, right, you know that it is all scripted and it's a proper shoot that's happening. But when an influencer does it, right,
it's
firstly,
natural, maybe more.
yeah, firstly,
more
you know the influencer. There's a certain bond that you
Hmm.
have already formed with that influencer. And when that person tells you a story, right, you're more likely to believe in it.
Believe it, exactly.
Other than
It's
if
not
you see,
that, it's not as tailored and perfected
Right.
and, scripted like a traditional ad that we see on a newspaper or a magazine or on a
right,
hoarding.
and you are more likely to believe because when you see a certain celebrity, using a certain product and which it comes on TV, you know that, okay,
Very
this
doctored.
person doesn't use it, she's just doing it for the money or for that.
So many of these celebrities we see who say like, no sugar, and we go and see
Yeah.
them promoting fruity,
Right.
perk.
Yes.
So yeah, that's very hypocritical, I feel.
Right.
And-
So, but when an influencer does it, right, and firstly, you already know that influencer.
Yeah.
So, if the person tells you a story and then tells you that, okay, this product actually helped me,
Actually helped.
then you are more likely to believe that person.
Absolutely. And I think it's very intelligent when influencers choose the right product as well, right?
Yeah, so it's also the influencer's responsibility when they are choosing to work with certain brands. It should resonate with them.
Absolutely.
Like in my example, I do food content creation, right? But I do not consume alcohol myself. So if there's a brand that wants me to endorse alcohol, I'm not going to tell a fake story that, okay, I went so and so here and this thing helped me or something. I will not do that. Same with meat. I do not consume meat, right? So if any brand tells me to do a recipe video using meat or something, my followers already know that I do not consume
Yeah,
meat.
yeah. That's
right?
going to just be very unorganic.
Yeah, so in that case, fake stories also don't work. And I think we should not do it also. We should always work with brands that resonate with us and then deliver content which actually fits in with our regular lifestyle.
True.
And some product that we believe in ourselves also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, since you're talking about product promotions and endorsements, right? There's this phenomena that's happening quite lately. It's called influence fatigue, where followers feel disengaged or frustrated with their influencers when these influencers just put out sponsors post.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Just paid partnerships. So, according to the Edelman Trust Barometer, 42 or 47, I'm forgetting the exact number, of the survey that was done, 42 or 47% of the people said that, there are influencers that they feel very disengaged with because they've stopped putting out original content.
Yeah.
It's just paid partnerships that they're doing. So since I am well versed with your content and I know that, that is definitely not the case with you. But since you belong to that industry and you belong to that sphere of influencers, tell me, why do influencers do this? Do they not weigh the consequences of doing this? Do they not understand that this is quite it's not the best, most intelligent thing to do. I mean, it's a great way to make some quick cash. Of
Yeah.
course, it's a good entrepreneurial thing to do, but it ticks off your followers.
Yeah, so I think such influencers, they are just thinking of the short term benefits.
Yes.
That, okay, for a certain amount period of time, I'm going to do such content and, regularly post sponsored content, get more brands on board and do more of such content and get
the
paid
ball
also.
rolling. Yeah.
Right. But they are not seeing the long term consequences of it. Because see, as followers, okay, today I've chosen to follow you, but then if you put out regular content that is sponsored, I'll also understand that this is not
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
Right? If some person has today recommended that, okay, this shampoo is good for your hair, then after 1 week I'm seeing the person recommending another brand. See, as followers, we also understand, right, that then this is not authentic.
Yeah.
Because a person can't switch between products so quickly.
So quickly.
Right? So you end up losing followers. And in the short term, yeah, definitely it works pretty well. But in the long run, it doesn't work.
It doesn't, right? You lose out on what you've built. So my last topic that I want to discuss with you is how do you think influencers should strengthen this, psychological bond that they have with their followers without being deceitful, without being manipulative?
I think they should firstly understand their audience, because this is something people fail to do. We have to understand that it's not just about us, it's about them also.
Absolutely.
So we need to understand what our audience expects from us, engage with them, try to understand their needs, and then see how you can benefit them.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, you should deliver content that actually benefits your followers. And entertainment is a good thing, but another thing is it should actually make a difference in a person's life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Some amount of difference,
Right. And
bring
also don't stop having fun, because the whole reason we started this content creation is because we love doing it. So in the process, I think many influencers forget that and they become too serious with it, and they forget that it's also fun. So we should also have fun with content creation.
Absolutely, completely agree with you. Thank you so much for coming down today and sharing such insightful thoughts with us. I had a wonderful session with you, and we're looking forward to more of such. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Kofluence Unplugged. We hope that with today's discussion, we helped influencers and brands understand the power of influence better and how to wield it responsibly. Stay tuned to this channel for more such discussions on the dynamic world of social media and influencer marketing. Stay kind, stay happy, and keep Kofluencing.